Continuing our journey through the Bible stories, today we are going to talk about the story of Samson and Delilah. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on our videos. The story of Samson and Delilah is one of the most well-known and captivating tales in the Bible. Found in the book of Judges, chapters 13 to 16, it tells the saga of a man with extraordinary strength, his divine mission, and his ultimate downfall due to his entanglement with a cunning and deceitful woman named Delilah. This story is not just a narrative of physical strength and weakness, but also a profound lesson on the spiritual and moral dimensions of human life. The birth and mission of Samson's story begins even before his birth. His parents, Manoah and his wife, were childless and devout Israelites living in the town of Zorah in the tribe of Dan. One day, the angel of the Lord appeared to Manoah's wife, informing her that she would conceive and give birth to a son. This child was to be a Nazirite from birth, dedicated to God, and was to begin the deliverance of Israel from the oppression of the Philistines, who had dominated them for 40 years. The Nazirite vow, described in Numbers 6:1-21, entailed abstaining from wine and other fermented drink, avoiding contact with dead bodies, and not cutting one's hair. Manoah's wife bore a son, and they named him Samson, meaning sun or brightness. From a young age, it was evident that Samson was endowed with extraordinary strength, a gift from God intended for the deliverance of Israel. Samson's exploits. As Samson grew, his feats of strength became legendary. One of the first recorded exploits was his encounter with a young lion in the vineyards of Timnah. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he tore the lion apart with his bare hands. Later, when he returned to the spot, he found a swarm of bees and honey inside the carcass of the lion. This event led to a riddle he posed at his wedding feast. Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. Judges 14:14. Samson's marriage to a Philistine woman from Timnah was fraught with conflict. During the wedding feast, his wife was coerced by her people into betraying the answer to his riddle, leading to a series of violent confrontations. In retaliation, Samson killed 30 Philistines in Ashkelon to settle his wager, and later burned the Philistines' crops by tying foxes' tails together with torches. This act of vengeance set off a cycle of retribution and bloodshed between Samson and the Philistines. One of the most remarkable displays of Samson's strength occurred when he was bound by the men of Judah and handed over to the Philistines. As the Philistines came toward him, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon Samson. The ropes on his arms became like charred flax, and the bindings dropped from his hands. Finding a fresh jawbone of a donkey, he grabbed it and struck down 1,000 men. Judges 15:14-15. The downfall. Samson and Delilah. The climax of Samson's story centers on his relationship with Delilah, a woman from the valley of Sorek. Unlike his earlier interactions, Samson's love for Delilah was genuine, but it was also his undoing. The Philistine rulers, recognizing an opportunity, approached Delilah and offered her a substantial sum of silver to discover the secret of Samson's strength. Delilah's persistence in coaxing Samson to reveal his secret is a testament to her cunning and determination. She asked him 3 times, and each time Samson deceived her with false answers. First, he told her that binding him with 7 fresh bowstrings would subdue him. When this failed, he suggested new ropes, and then weaving the 7 locks of his hair into the fabric of a loom. Each attempt ended with Samson breaking free effortlessly. Finally, after much nagging and prodding, Samson disclosed the truth. "No razor has ever been used on my head because I have been a Nazirite dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as any other man." Judges 16:17. Delilah knew she had the true answer. She sent word to the Philistine rulers, who brought the silver with them. As Samson slept on her lap, Delilah called a man to shave off the 7 locks of his hair. His strength left him, and when the Philistines seized him, he was powerless. They gouged out his eyes and took him to Gaza, where he was bound with bronze shackles and forced to grind grain in the prison. Samson's redemption and death. In the darkness and humiliation of the prison, Samson's hair began to grow back, symbolizing the potential for his strength to return. The Philistine rulers, overconfident and triumphant, decided to hold a great celebration in honor of their god Dagon, attributing their victory over Samson to their deity. During the festivities, the Philistines called for Samson to be brought out to entertain them. They positioned him between the central pillars of the temple. Blind and weakened, Samson prayed to the Lord, saying, "Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more, and let me with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes." Judges 16:28. With one final surge of divine strength, Samson braced himself against the pillars, pushing them apart with all his might. The temple collapsed, killing Samson and the Philistine rulers and people inside. In his death, Samson achieved a greater victory against the Philistines than he had in his life. Lessons from Samson and Delilah. The story of Samson and Delilah offers several profound lessons. 1. Divine purpose in human weakness. Samson's life was marked by a divine mission to deliver Israel from the Philistines. However, his personal weaknesses, particularly his susceptibility to seduction and his failure to uphold his Nazirite vow, led to his downfall. This highlights the tension between divine calling and human frailty. 2. The consequences of disobedience. Samson's disregard for his Nazirite vow and his entanglement with Delilah resulted in the loss of his God-given strength. This underscores the importance of obedience to God's commands and the consequences of straying from them. 3. Redemption and second chances. Despite his failures, Samson's final act demonstrated God's willingness to hear the prayers of a repentant heart. Samson's hair regrowth symbolizes the possibility of redemption and restoration, even after great failure. 4. The power of betrayal. Delilah's betrayal for monetary gain serves as a cautionary tale about the destructive power of deceit and the vulnerability of those who place their trust in the wrong people. 5. Strength and weakness. Samson's story illustrates that true strength comes from God. Despite his physical prowess, Samson was ultimately dependent on God's spirit for his abilities. His final act of strength was not just a physical feat, but a testament to his restored faith and reliance on God. Conclusion. The story of Samson and Delilah is a multifaceted narrative that intertwines themes of divine purpose, human weakness, betrayal, and redemption. It serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of the human condition and the profound impact of faith and obedience in fulfilling God's plan. As we reflect on Samson's life, we are encouraged to recognize our strengths and weaknesses, to remain steadfast in our commitments, and to seek God's guidance and forgiveness in times of failure. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most remarkable Bible stories. Stay tuned for more stories that bring the teachings of the Bible to life. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Until next time, may you find peace and strength in the stories of faith. Always remember, you are unique and special to God. Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay blessed and keep seeking the truth.